Oh, hello. Okay, enough procrastinating. I've been putting this one off, so I'm just going to jump right in. Although my shadows, it's kind of freaking me out. So this will be kind of maybe a mid something report. So to kind of put things together again, I'll just keep layering for now. So we have what I've come up with is the solution to public education, one step at a time. But what I've done was the first year, I spent time, like I mentioned before, which is you are number one always. Then we talked about to understand business management systems, go back to number one and breathe 3 times ABCs. 4 noble truths, work on 5 relationships, the Tao Te Ching, just to keep balance. Concentrate on the 7 virtues instead of the 7 sins, just a suggestion. Eighth Amendment, again, talking about the Constitution, which is no cruel or unusual punishment. 9 is mine, another constitutional, whatever you want to call it, foundation. And then 10 is not 10, just suggestions. Now, the reason why I did that, again, is because as I researched and I just knew that there was going to be some bad news with education. So what I wanted to do was build up a foundation. It's like, what can you hold on to? I don't think we have much control over the day-to-day, but you do have control over something that will keep you grounded. And again, I recommend finding something without technology because you will always have that. It just gives you more freedom. Yes? And then I call this one the messy 10, which was I asked, start at 0, I asked a simple question, which is what's the purpose of education? And what I discovered was it's one or the other. Either education is for progress, which is for business management systems, or it's priority, which is you. And so I get this double message of, yet we're here to help kids, and I see kids suffering, so which is it? Either you're helping them or you're not. And then more or less, as far as like education, do you need more classes or fewer classes? Do you need more classes that give you a foundation to what you need today, or do you feel like you get less of that? The Foursquare game is something that I've just been kind of noodling around with. I'm going to come back and do that one again because I'm having some fun with that one. So, but again, business management systems, they see education as a game, really. This is a losing game as they see it, but I think, I don't know who's losing in this, yes? Cognitive dissonance, these are when it's like if you have your own values and they conflict with those around you, which cognitive dissonance is like this, it's a real uncomfortableness. Like, should I speak up if somebody says a joke that maybe is unethical or offends you in some way? What do we do with that? So anyway, cognitive dissonance is that separation of that maybe almost like a hypocrisy. It's like the value systems of the bigger systems do not support your own personal value system. So that creates a real discourse. And I think that's important to really recognize because if you don't have your own value system, then it's easier to get manipulated. Then I went back to either or. And I think I just wrote down either start taking your own education in your own hands or it's going to be taken for you. They will make the decision for you. And I wrote down obey the self or be commanded. I don't remember where I got that, but sounds good. And then back to number 1 is just know thyself. 2 words, it packs a punch if you really start thinking about it. And yeah, that's been kind of fun for me, just getting to know my own little quirks, not, how we kind of put up those fronts or those faces when we go out, like, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? And it's not really authentic, but we don't know how to get around that. And I think just knowing yourself, how do you learn? What are your sleep patterns? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? Not what people say you should do, but what do you truly enjoy? What are your quirks? And then back to zero, when you start putting some of these things together, it's almost like, okay, start. You can't really start at zero with nothing because you're here and you've already been conditioned thus far. So what would you want if you could start all over again, if you could have your own school, if you could have your own days? I don't mean just a weekend or spring break. I mean day in and day out. What would your school look like? So even just imagine starting at zero. So that's kind of what I've done. So, and then I thought it was kind of funny that they all kind of, I think they are lovely. They are lovely as they come together. Who are you? Either Oregon Business Management Systems, more of you. We're going to get to the truths with this Foursquare game. Which do you want? Do you want to work on relationships more or work on school more that prepares you for jobs? Which is going to be more sustaining, which is something that's going to feed your soul kind of thing. Then virtues, which is I skipped that one. Justified true belief. You have to believe this to be true. You have to have evidence for it. It's not just these opinions, which I hear thrown around all the time. Then the Eighth Amendment, either... Oh, did I skip this one? Oh, virtues, too. I recommend going for virtues. I think it's kind of, again, an outdated word. However, well, maybe we'll talk more about that one later. The Eighth Amendment, either this is really good for you or it's not. Know thyself again. The Ninth Amendment is your amendment. So read it. And then, then starting at zero again. So one thing that I've been thinking about was just to kind of pull everything together. So I spent, the first year was 0 year, which, I just to try to survive, not just survive COVID, but really try to get myself into a calmer place, which is really not easy for me because I'm a really anxious person. And then the first year, I just started figuring out what I wanted my day-to-day to look like. And then the second year, first and second year, like I said, as far as iSchool is concerned, I wanted those 10 foundations. And then I knew the messy 10 was going to get pretty messy because there's a lot of information that's you're not going to like too much. But I just wanted to kind of let you know, as far as iSchool and me is concerned, what I did with this was I just started taking classes. I made up my own little system throughout the day. You can't really see this, that's okay, but I just came up with 5 little symbols every day. So if it was a really bad day, it's like no matter what, just do something to keep yourself grounded. It's music. I have playlists for every day of the week. So just anything to keep me grounded. Just move, anything. Go for walks. I just knew that just to go move. Nourish, something to nourish myself with. Essentials, just things like laundry, things, just do one thing a day at least. And then rewards, treats, things that I like to do. And then I just thought I need to take my education in my own hands. And that might sound odd, but I feel like there's a lot of things that I missed or that I haven't been able to learn because I've been busy with 50 years of public education. So some things that I thought were important, I just have been taking classes on my own, which is great because they're all self-paced, they're not graded, they're not judged, but it's very intrinsic. It's things that I just thought I needed at that time. So I took a vocabulary class, gross anatomy, Tai Chi, another vocab class. In order to move, I just wanted to take some dance classes, some drawing classes. And so just what I did was every day at certain times, I took a little psychology class too. And so I think it was really important for me to, even though I probably look like I'm just all over the place, well, I probably am, which is why I need that sense of grounding. So it's like the 10 and 10 gives me a foundation so that I can kind of continue with iSchool. And then I just needed a routine. So I get up between 4 and 6. That's just my circadian rhythms. You spend an hour usually having like a cup of tea for me or coffee with mi spusa. 7 to 8:30 I take a class, like I said, and then 8:30 I have a little nourishment. Then I clean. From 9 to 12 is usually about 3 hours of research, iSchool. My passion is knowing about education. So I just want to be an expert at education. I want to know what I'm talking about. So instead of relying on other people to tell me what it is, I truly take a deep dive. And in between that, I go for a walk about 10:30, and then noon is story time. Whether I want to read or watch a movie or something like that, that's a little treat. 1 to 3, I work on some kind of skills. Whether it's I want to learn how to crochet and knit better. Drawing is something that I'm really passionate about. And again, it usually has, then I tie it into some kind of crafts with iSchool. 3 o'clock is fika. Have a little coffee, get me a little started, or if I need a little nap, then do that. Then I have dinner with my partner. And then from like 4 to 5, we eat early. We're old, but we also go to bed early. And then from 5 to 7, we alternate from date nights. So we'll watch a movie together or play some cards or do something. Or I just work on my own thing, and Mr. Newsom goes and plays his guitar and does his thing. So I just wanted to explain that to say how, kind of it looks like chaos, which I think it is when you get away from something that's so structured like public schools and then come back and you have no structure. I personally like to build up my own structure, and I think that you can do that in public schools. And like I said, I'm just building up some momentum here, but I think I have some ideas so that you can go to school, but you can also start to do little things to get your brain to say like you're in charge. At least if you feel like you have no control in school, there are things that you can do at home, in the morning, in the evening, and throughout the day that are completely free, completely easy for anybody to do. But that's what I think we're gonna work on. Yeah. Okay. Ciao.